You're beginning your magical journey into the world of astrophotography, but you're having trouble figuring things out. Maybe you have a tight budget, perhaps you don't know what to buy, or you don't know how to use a camera. In any case, I'm going to try my best to explain, from my experience, the best methods for starting out in astrophotography. Let's go. First off, and most importantly, purchasing equipment. I'm going to be real. Astrophotography is a very expensive hobby, and you will have to invest quite a bit of money into it. However, you can cut some corners as a beginner. The most important piece of equipment you'll need is a camera. To begin, I recommend starting off with something that is relatively easy to use and requires less effort, which are DSLR and mirrorless cameras. The camera I'm currently using is the Canon EOS T7i, which is the camera that I'm also filming this video with right now. It is a relatively high quality camera that costs around $800 and has a lot of beginner potential. This camera was even recommended by famous astrophotography YouTuber AstroBackyard on his website, which will be linked in the description if you wish to look more into purchasing a camera. Other decent cameras that are good for astrophotography include the Nikon D850, as well as a wide variety of Sony cameras, most notably the Sony a7R III. As for tripods, no memorable brand comes to mind, and you can find a lot of good camera tripods for a decent price on Amazon. The same also goes for lenses, because as a beginner you can definitely get away with using the kit lenses that come with most cameras. But if you really want more than a kit lens, I suggest taking a look at the Rokinon lenses. I'll link them in the description, but just a little briefing on what they are. They are very well-priced lenses that are widely used by astrophotographers that I'll eventually review in a future video. Finally, for telescopes, you don't need one when starting out, and I'll explain why right now. By far, the easiest form of astrophotography is known as wide-field astrophotography, in which you only need to use your camera and tripod. You can optionally purchase a mini computerized mount to increase your capabilities within this field, but those are generally expensive and aren't necessary when starting out. For wide-field astrophotography, all you need to do is point your camera up in the sky, take pictures, and that's it. However, since you're not using a mount, star trilling could be a prominent issue for you. That's where the 500 rule comes in. The 500 rule is a method used in astrophotography that involves dividing 500 by the focal length of whatever lens you're currently using. The result is the number of seconds of exposure time you can use per shot before the object that you're imaging begins to trail. For example, let's say you have a lens with a focal length of 50 millimeters. Divide 500 by 50 and you get 10 seconds of exposure time without star trailing. Simple as that. So, you're ready to start taking pictures of the night sky, but which objects should you photograph first? Well, of course you have the moon and the brightest planets in the solar system like Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, but wide-field astrophotography more so involves imaging deep space objects, so let's go there. There are thousands of deep space objects in the sky, all with varying levels of difficulty. The brightest and biggest deep space objects include the Andromeda Galaxy, the Orion Nebula, the Hercules Globular Cluster, the Pleiades Star Cluster, the Ring Nebula, the North American Nebula, the Hyades Star Cluster, the Dumbbell Nebula, and so much more. So, what are you waiting for? Get out there tonight. With that said, this marks the end of my beginner astrophotography tutorial. I hope you learn a lot from this and are now less nervous to put yourself out there in the night sky. I wish you a fun and exciting experience, and I'll see you later.